Greetings, flesh creatures. It is I, Megatron. On behalf of TFYLP, I want to congratulate you for listening to the most refined collective podcast on this miserable little planet Earth. Yes. Here you'll find knowledgeable fans discussing every aspect of Transformers and beyond. Now, enjoy the show while I continue my path to complete conquest of all of you miserable biological entities. Predacons, terrorize!
Hi, welcome to TFYLP episode, I think it was at 5:30. I really should be more prepared. Anyway, episode 5:30. We are live tonight. It is Wednesday, May 24th. I'm Lucas. I am joined tonight by Peter.
Forever Destron.
And Phil.
Howdy, folks.
And Rob.
Hello.
So, welcome everyone tonight. So, I know I had made a post on social media, but I think we're actually going to be shifting to Wednesday nights for the summer, just due to scheduling, kind of with the cast overall. And then we'll kind of see how things go, with that. And, we'll kind of decide for the fall as far as, what we're going to do. So it's always hard to kind of get everybody together, wrangle. I know we all have a lot of things going on. So not you. I guess Peter has nothing going on, so
he's the new host. Every day he's going to host every night. 24/7.
The amount of time in a day that I spend talking to myself about Transformers and I'm going to share my opinions with myself. It's obscene, and I should not be hosting anything.
But then you could do it even more out loud.
Yeah.
And if
look
you're
less
recording
crazy.
yourself, it's less crazy.
I guess, but then I have to wander around with technology, capturing all of it. I don't
Never
want that.
leave where you're sitting right now.
My butt hurts.
Get a better chair. Get a butt masseuse.
This is my $3 IKEA chair when they were still $3. Now they're $5.
Oh.
Rip-offs.
I know.
Oh man, inflation there.
I wouldn't stand for that. Oh, that's right. You're trying to sit for it. That makes
Sitting,
sense.
yeah.
Hi-oh! Oh, the humanity.
The other thing too, Peter, at one point you're doing an amazing show, Infinity Closet, but you would try to pre-record that and actually put some production value and editing and all that type of thing into it. Whereas instead of doing, like what we do here, where it's just all live and, whatever we say, and whatever happens, if there's a bot that comes in and starts posting weird stuff in the chat, you just go with it.
Have we
Good
not had a
times.
bot in a while? Are we not cool enough to attract Russian bots anymore? Or are they too busy, trying to hack Ukraine?
Those weren't Russians.
Oh,
Those are
I'm
the
sorry.
guys from the GoBots.
Oh, yeah. And then one
really?
of them was, your daughter's classmate, right?
Yeah, Poopy Doopy.
That
Damn
bot
you,
thing was from the
poopy-doopy.
GoBot guys? That's awesome.
Wait, you're not? I thought you were just making a joke. GoBots versus Transformers roar. Who are
Well,
the GoBot guys?
We did
I thought we were GoBot guys.
We are
No.
GoBot guys. There's I'm the number one GoBot guy sort of guy. And he didn't like our GoBot show 2 years ago. So
Yeah, we did a machine robo
Internet's
GoBots
fucking
thing, and I think that there was whatever one fact or something like that you I think, Peter, you had said 6 instead of 7 or just whatever, just
Yeah.
Some
They were-
minor
they were-
mistake. Yeah.
I said 5 instead of 6, and then someone threw a fit on one of the boards. Rob, you were there for that. And then
Yeah, it's ringing a bell a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah, and then Rick brought out, he had these prototypes from Action Toys that somehow found their way to his basement, and so people were flipping out about that. It was awesome.
He's like, what is this even? He literally had no idea what the hell they were.
He didn't know the characters. He didn't know what he was looking at. He's like, I don't know what these are, but I have them. I think these are the only ones.
Yeah, and we're all like, that's the Action Toys, scooter that never came out or whatever it was.
Right. Yeah. Like
Was
all
it
the
turbo
rest of
or
us is like,
scooter?
what? How did you
It
get
wasn't a
those?
scooter. It was
He had,
turbo.
Oh, it was
He had
Turbo.
turbo, and he had the ambulance too.
Yeah.
the
See,
turbo
I even
still
know
has never
turbo.
come out, right?
They did the blue truck one, and the quality on it wasn't great, and that was the last one, and that barely came out as it was.
That was the
Was-
bigger one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I didn't hate it or anything, but like, it was a step down.
This tough trailer. He's my friend.
Tough trailer.
He's right there.
Yeah. They're
So
doing
you like
something else
your
now.
equivalent of my buddy.
Yeah, it's my buddy, and I got kid sister. I've got Elena figure. Yeah, they're doing a Mugen build or something. They're kind of like transformable model kits. You cut the pieces off the sprue, finish assembling the toy for the factory, and then it's just a machine robo. And they've
Got it.
already they've done Rod Drill and Blue Jet and Cycle Robo. So just do them all over again. Every 3 years, we'll get them all over again. Every 3 years. It's like Transformers now. And
Yep.
G.I. Joe.
There
Same
you go.
5 characters over and over and over. Sorry,
I mean,
I
that's
didn't mean to
just the way
spoil
they
it
do
for
it.
anybody. Yeah.
Yeah. So tonight's topic, I guess, Phil, you're the one that proposed this one to discuss how much you like spoilers. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna spend the entire night going over all the spoilers that we're aware of for the new movie for Peter, because I know that he's a big fan of spoilers.
For those listeners, this is your spoiler warning.
And now that that's done, Snape kills Dumbledore.
Yeah. So
Dude.
our viewers just went from 6 to -2. How's that possible?
Yeah.
But Phil, like when you're proposing this topic, talking about spoilers, first my first question is,
How dare you?
Like, how do you really actually spoil anything with like the Transformers movies? Because like, is there an actual plot to spoil?
I mean, so for me, it's not even about the plot. Like my thought around, and it's weird that it's more about Transformers than other movies. Like when the first Transformers movie came out, I watched every single clip of it I could before the movie came out. Every time like someone was on the Tonight Show or a cast member was doing an interview and there was a clip they showed with it, like I was gobbling that stuff up. So by the time the movie came out, it's not that the plot had been spoiled for me, but they showed 90% of the Transformer scenes in those clips because the first movie had relatively small amount of Transformer screen time. So I just kind of felt like, well, holy crap, all the stuff I really cared about, I already saw. And everything I was left with was the stupid humans doing stupid stuff. So yeah, since then, like especially for Transformers movies, I try to avoid, both kind of the spoiler stuff, the plot stuff of it, but I try to avoid a lot of the commercials because I want to see it on a big screen.
If I know I'm going to see something, like I just don't watch anything about it. Like I don't get mad about it though, but it's just like I know I'm going to watch this movie. I might as well just wait till it happens because sometimes people just get really overzealous on like what they put in trailers. Like
Right.
I don't remember what movie this was. It was a trailer for some movie and like it was something like a dog. Like it was like some family movie, really sappy. Like the dog runs off. And it was a year or two ago. Dog runs off and then like, oh, they can't find the dog and the dog's having adventures, trying to get home, whatever. They literally showed you the whole movie in a 2-minute trailer. Like you saw the end scene where he comes back to like the family there and everybody's starting to get weepy, it's like, and you saw him being there with the family. You saw him leave. You saw him on some adventures. You saw the family worried, and then you saw him showing up.
Was that Airbud 7, Bud in Space?
It wasn't an Air Bud, but it
Okay.
was definitely like, made Hallmark movies look good.
The Airbud in Space was called Space Buddies, and it was after the Air Buddies line spinoff. Come on, you gotta know your
Get
Airbud
your shit
canon.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one thing,
in space.
for all of your Airbud information, come to TFYLP.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the trailer for the new movie?
I finally watched it when I was on the show talking about it, and I was like, oh, I should probably watch it then. So, for what it's
Well,
worth, I wasn't avoiding that one because I'm like, oh, I'm going to see it. I don't need to see the trailer. I was avoiding that one because I just didn't care. So it's a totally different reason.
Well, the one thing, and obviously we haven't seen the movie yet, but I wonder if like the spoiler with, Unicron, if that was like, is that giving stuff away or is it a misdirection? We won't know yet, but
We don't. I mean, we obviously don't know. Before we get into that, I want to say, kind of piggybacking off of what Phil said about the first movie and trailers and things. I like for the first Transformers movie, we had the teaser trailer where it was like whatever rover on Mars, and it looks up and you see Starscream's silhouette, and he punches the rover, and oh, classified, classified! Here come the Transformers, and everyone in the theater went woo! And it was great. And then the trailers and all the little Tonight Show type stuff, yeah, like you said, showed everything. And then I read the novelization because I like to see what the difference is, because the novelization is going to be closer to screenplay type stuff as opposed to what's actually filmed. And we know Michael Bay from like Bad Boys and whatever other junk he made. His movies are real fast and loose, if you will, with plotting and pacing and stuff. So I wanted to kind of get a snapshot of what the screenplay kind of looked like before he got his hands on it. I did the same thing with the second movie to try and see what the differences were, and I had no problem watching the trailers up to that point. And then the movies they weren't great to begin with, but then they completely fell apart, and they had no plot, they had no pacing, they had nothing really going on. Find the thing to do the thing so we can get to the thing so we can stop the thing from happening and stopping all life or whatever. Earth is the key to everything always. So I was, after Bumblebee, which I didn't watch any trailers for and I didn't care about, but I watched it in theaters and was pleasantly surprised. I was kind of not invigorated or reinvigorated. I was kind of just curious as to what was going to happen. So I watched the teaser. Yep, those are Beast Wars characters in movie style. Okay, great. And then the full trailer came out, and now we're doing the super full trailer with the Unicron, and after all the reshoots. And I don't know, I'm excited. There's no novelization to go off of. There are no comic books to go off of. There's nothing to accompany this film. It's just here's another one. Have at it.
Like the previous movies, someone wrote them at some point in a theory, and then as you said, well, we got to start this other crap while the movie's going. Same way like the first toys often aren't very accurate. It's the same thing, yeah. And then you find out that Bay's like, oh yeah, well, what if Prime just murders Megatron? That's way better than him letting him live, which is actually in character. That's what is that? Is that the third one?
That's the third one, yeah.
Yeah,
in
the novel,
ends,
that's what he does.
Yeah.
Which is in character, at least,
He's like, Cybertron's right there. Let's just go live in peace. I'll leave you alone. You leave me alone. Bye.
Yeah. But, yeah. They gets a hold of it and just like, nah, this would be way cooler if he just executes everyone. Awesome. Yeah, so maybe this time they're just like, you know what? Fuck it. Just wing it, guys. Just wing it. Fine. No one cares. And I don't know. I care more about spoilers when it's something I feel the people creating it care about.
right.
And I don't think anybody cares about this. I think it's just we're here for our paychecks, and we're gonna make a movie, and we'll try to do good, I guess, but it'll make money either way probably, and cool.
Yeah, I mean, definitely for myself after that first Transformers movie, like in general, the amount of commercials and trailers and all that stuff for movies I really want to see, I've curtailed. Like if it's on, like if I'm watching TV and it's a commercial with it, like all right, I'll watch it. Like but I won't like go to a Transformers website and be like, oh, here's the newest clip. and I got to watch this newest, commercial that's got an additional 4 new seconds of footage that I hadn't seen before. Like, I'm not doing that for Transformers or any movie that I really want to see. It's kind of funny though with Transformers versus other movies. Like Marvel movies, I will actively avoid spoilers because I care about the plot and want to be surprised by the plot. Transformers movies, it's like the plot might suck, and I don't want the visuals to be ruined because oftentimes it's the visuals that are the coolest part of the Transformers movies. So I kind of don't care if I find out about the plot, but all right, here's a cool thing of, both primes transforming and bashing someone's, face in. Like, all right, I'll save that to be ooh and odd when I'm sitting in the theater with, my friends and the screen is like the size of my house.
I thought one of the more interesting, scenarios of spoilers with the movies was when they showed us the clip of movie 2 at BotCon. And like obviously they just wanted to get us hyped and like here's some big action scenes. But it's like they showed us Ravage dying, which like that means they just thought it was a cool action scene and it had that no one actually cared. That hey, you're killing, a character that could have meant something, It's just like, okay, y'all really don't care. So
I totally forgot that Ravage even died in the movie.
Why would you? Who the fuck is Ravage?
Yeah, and then more Ravages showed up later in a different movie in the background. They're just like around.
He got better.
Yeah, he got better. But yeah, like the Marvel stuff, you can't just avoid trailers and you can't just avoid social media, or you have to avoid social media rather, because within 12 hours of a movie being released, there are memes being made and screenshots and all of your friends are just sharing it willy-nilly. And they're just like, this was the coolest thing. It's like, guys, not everyone went out and saw it at 11:56 p.m. last night.
You're not a true fan.
Chill. I know, I'm clearly not. Chill. Just give it 24 hours, 36 hours, the weekend, and then you can start sharing all your nonsense. I mean,
I don't know about you guys, but like in my advanced age, I don't see anything opening weekend anymore. Like, I still haven't seen Ant-Man, and I haven't seen Guardians, and I heard Guardians was quite good from some friends that, opinion I trust. And we still haven't gotten to it. And we're like, cool, we want to see that. Like, I really wanted to see John Wick 4. I was excited for that. And like, I rewatched 1 through 3, and it still took me like a month to get to it. So it's like, I'm lucky though.
Streaming on that. Did you actually see John Wick?
Yeah, we did finally get out to it.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen any of the John Wick movies, but for Marvel stuff, I'm older than you, Rob, with that advanced age. I got a haircut today, and there was a lot of white just on the apron afterward, and I was very sad. Like the lady,
I can see all that white in your hair.
It's there. The lady saw me slouch. She saw me slouch when I looked down. Like, oh. She's like, it's not that bad. I'm like, ooh.
There was a kid the other day at the playground that thought I was my son's grandfather.
Oh.
That's awesome.
That's rough.
Yeah.
But I will go, and I have for Black Panther, for Quantumania, and for Guardians, and there was one other one. The Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, where I went by myself. I didn't wait for the family to get it together so we can coordinate stuff, and I didn't wait for whatever. I did not want to be spoiled to the point that I just went on my own. And I don't tell my family what happened in the movie. Just, hey, I went and saw the movie. We'll watch it later. But that it takes a lot of pressure off of me because I will actively avoid social media and avoid people whose posts and things I enjoy, because I know they're just going to spoil it. And they're not doing it maliciously. They're not doing it to like get me. I mean, I take everything personally, but I know they're not targeting me. But at the same time, it rankles my ass when I see screen caps of a thing that came out 12 hours ago, and you're just like, look at this meme of this cool thing that happened. This is really going to be awesome when blah blah shows up again later. It's like, no blah blah. I want to go ahead.
I think I'm sheltered from this due to my life choices in a positive manner. Like, I don't use Twitter. Like, I mean, I have a Twitter account, right? I don't use it, so that helps with a lot of just random nonsense. And But like the people I'm friends with on Facebook don't do these things. And I'm not on Facebook a lot either. I'll check in maybe once or twice a day, and I mainly just go to a private chat or private group. But I might browse around a little, scroll a little bit, but not a lot. And I never, knock on wood, so far I've never had anything like, "Aw, you said the thing."
We have a mutual who does it with every movie, and he doesn't mean it. And I've said, "Hey, whoa, spoilers." He's like, "It's not a big deal."
Oh.
It's like,
Send me their name. Just
I will.
Yeah,
I will. And it's and so I have to unfollow this person. Boop. For the week, anytime's coming out.
So you just don't follow them for the summer at all. It's just like,
Yeah.
well, I'll see you in the fall, man.
Summer movie season means I might see you at a convention. Bye bye. But I hate spoilers.
All of June we've got like great movies coming out.
Oh yeah, we're finally really back into that like summer movie season. Like all the COVID stuff's kind of, I don't know, whatever. They're I guess ready to have all the movies going again.
Not just some of the movies, all of the movies.
All the movies.
You know, I think it's different for Transformers 2 or as well. You know, compared to some other properties, because like I think like you were talking about, Phil, like character surprises are kind of fun for us, and it doesn't even mean that it's written well or it has meaning. Just sometimes it's fun. It's just like as an Easter egg, or just like, hey, look, so and so showed up. Mm-hmm. Then it's like, oh yeah, we saw that toy on the shelves a month ago, you know, and so it's like, you know, that so and so is going to pop up at some point, right? Because there's a toy and it's not random bot 01, right? So like sometimes like some of that stuff that could be a fun surprise in other shows, like, you know, I don't know, a gajillion of the Marvel stuff. You know, you're watching and all of a sudden, you know, like, oh, my favorite superhero that's kind of a C-lister showed up. Didn't expect that, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't pay any attention to Black Panther 2 at all until we watched it, because I knew I'd watch it at some point, right? And so I'm watching, I'm like, is that Namor? Whoa, Namor's in this? Like, I had no idea. Completely oblivious, you know? And so that was kind of neat. You know, like, just like, I was like, is that what it's supposed to be? Like, fish people are attacking? Is that something when Namor's going to happen? And then all of a sudden I see this dude with wings on his fucking feet. And I'm like, oh, that is. What a weird call. Like, I did not think, you know. But with Transformers, I think that's, like, we know that so-and-so is going to show up, and then we're disappointed after it happens. And it's just like, oh, wow, you just reused a name, and it had no point. It had nothing to do with the character, you know, or it just showed up for a second for branding, you know. Mm-hmm. And it's just, plot doesn't matter. The characters don't matter. They're not who they're supposed to be anyway. And it's just like harder and harder to care that, oh no, a spoiler. Like, when I did watch the trailer, I was just like, oh, Unicron. I was like, okay. You know, but like, I wasn't like, oh, spoiled, you know. It's like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Dark of the Moon and the Sideswipe designs came out, and the Sideswipe toy came out. Like, you know, part of it was Sideswipe was kind of like Poochie, where he was just like, let's take
my planet needs me.
Cool, yeah. But it was like just this idea, like, and Drift was kind of the same way, but they actually made Drift a cool character. But it was like this idea, like, we're gonna take all these things that are cool and we're gonna put them into one dude because we know what market research says. And I kind of bit into that hook, line, and sinker with movie Sideswipe. And then he's in the movie and he slices so and so in half, and he's like, "Oh, cool, that's awesome!" And it's like, where'd he go? Why isn't he in this anymore? And
because you've already bought his toy. That's all he needed.
So, and then he was killed off screen at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, he died.
Yeah, he went back to his own planet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I
they
think
needed
to me, that's one of the reasons why this stuff is like weird letdowns, because you see the toys and sometimes the design does look neat and you want to see more of that character, and then you don't. The toys can also sometimes be misleading, because sometimes oftentimes you'll see toys on the shelves for characters that never appear in the movie. And there is sort of a you know, will this dude or won't this dude be in the actual movie, or is this just a toy character?
And then you find out it didn't matter anyways.
Right. Yeah.
Or the characters in the movie for like 1 second, just so that you have a toy.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got from the Bumblebee movie, we've got a whole line of toys now that are from that. They're not from the Bumblebee movie. They're from the prologue. You know,
Right.
that
felt
6
tacked
minute.
on after
Yeah.
the fact. It's
Yeah.
like hardcore.
Yeah, it's like
But it was awesome, and I love it.
it was awesome, and we love it. But do we want to? I mean, a lot of people are buying them, and happy for those that have them. I have a Ratchet around here somewhere that I was gonna do something with. I don't know. But they aren't in the movie. Sideswipe got a retool, so his top is down or whatever for Dark of the Moon, and he wasn't even in Dark of the Moon.
They thought about it.
Yeah, they thought about it. I think he was mentioned in the novelization, just like the twins were. The twins died in the pages. They were horribly murdered, which yay. But then they didn't give us the satisfaction of horribly murdering them on screen. Stupid
They
movies.
actually, I'm pretty sure in the movies they get
They show
away.
up.
Like they drive off with the wreckers into the spaceship or something, right?
You see
like
them
that.
pulling into the hangar after the first debrief. You never see them actually go anywhere because they're dead by the time the wreckers do their thing.
I thought they were like way in the background, like I don't know, maybe not then. I believe you. It all runs together, and who cares?
And who cares? So what spoilers do we have from this thing? We've got Scorponok, plural, lots of Scorponok. We've got Unicron, which is clearly from the reshoots. I mean, because they bumped it back 7 years or whatever it was and added a bunch of junk to make it more gooder, and I'm sure it's going to work. It's going to make its money back. We've got human guy hanging out with Not Jazz, but he gets a pretender suit, some pretender armor or some kicker armor or something. What else? But there's that.
Stratosphere.
Oh yeah, Stratosphere is happening again.
More than ever before.
But like that's the thing is like I've tried like I'll watch the trailers because I want to whet the appetite, but I don't want to spoil.
Which is
the
what
meal.
that's supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's the point, is to get you hyped for it. It's supposed to.
Yeah.
Well, have we had any spoilers from toys?
It didn't show up in a. Did we see any
for
toys
the-
before we
The
saw,
upcoming movie?
in clips? That maybe by now we've seen them in clips, but
Well, there's no write-ups on the backs of the toys anymore, so we're not getting anything spoiled from those. Does anyone remember with Star Wars: The Phantom Menace how Qui-Gon Jinn's death got spoiled because of the soundtrack?
no. Was it the name
Yeah.
of a track?
It was called Death of Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah,
And way to
"Ah."
spoil it. I was about to watch that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just got spoiled by the Spider-Verse assortment for the new movie
No,
because
no.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just I was walking down the aisle at Target and I was like, oh fiddlesticks.
Oh.
Hmm.
Well,
That one,
yeah, that-
I'm where the whole family's looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know
You're
if
not
anything
all
from
looking
the
forward to
toy line
Transformers,
spoils that.
Rob?
The only reason I think they even know what's happening is because it showed before John Wick 4, and as soon as it started, I was like, I'm sorry in advance, Just-
Yeah, I'm actually taking my kids to opening night. My
DPS
wife
is on their way.
What's that? Right?
Deep-
My wife was like, I'm
I
good.
bet.
You don't need to get me a ticket. I'm okay.
Y'all have fun.
Right. You take the kids. So we'll see. Hopefully it works out. I don't know. At least it's only 2 hours.
That's good. Instead of 2.5.
Right.
My sister works at a dentist's office as a dental assistant, and she messaged me earlier this week. She's like, "Hey, we're having a Transformers themed Invisalign party promotional thing, because transform your smile." And I told her, she's like, "You got any ideas of what might be fun?" I was like, "You can come as a pile of poop, because that's what these movies are, they're poop." And she's like, "Oh, okay. You know, made it pretty clear, like, do not ask me about these things. You should know better.
I just find it
discussions.
hysterical. Like, here's your sister, like, oh, I know my brother's into this. I can ask him. He'll give me some good, advice on what to do and not to be a bad, fan. And like, all you do is like, no, they're awful. They're terrible. If you like them, you're not a true fan. It's all garbage.
If you like them, you're not human, and your tastes in life are terrible.
Yeah.
Looking at you,
So you don't like Transformers anymore? No, I love Transformers. Why would you think that? Why would you think I don't like Transformers?
Those movies are not Transformers.
I just don't buy anything that Hasbro makes, and the movies are garbage.
And I don't read any of the fiction or watch any of the cartoons. You're making a point here.
I try to be gracious when people are like, "Hey, Peter, Transformers," and it's like, "Oh, yes, movie stuff. Yep, that's me, the Transformer guy."
I make sure they know my opinions very clearly, very quickly, depending on what they bring up or talk about. There's no ambiguity when we're done. So
I was able to rebrand myself at my new job as I'm a vintage toy collector.
not untrue. You
Right.
You're the only one bringing up like weird shit like Dino Riders or whatever that stupid spaceship thing you had the
Starcom.
other week.
I tagged you in a Starcom post a little while ago. Check it out. There's a
Oh yeah, I didn't see that.
seller in Europe that I buy stuff from that he's got some, and you should check it
Yeah.
out.
Oh, I mean, I think it's a very accurate definition for you. Like when people say, "Oh, what's your toy room like?" You know, or like I had some maintenance guys over the other week, and they were through my normal maintenance guy, and they were like, "We heard there's a room we need to ask about." You know, but I'll give them a tour. You know, it doesn't you don't have to twist my arm.
You have them sign the NDA first.
But it's like, it's mostly Transformers, but it's like, there's also Ninja Turtles and Marvel, DC, like a decent amount of the Batman animated series. I have like all those toys from the DC collectibles line a few years back. But it's like, sure, mostly Transformers, but there's more than that. But
I gotta talk to you about that when we're done here, Rob.
I love though when you have people come over, they're like, "There's a rumor of a room." We're supposed to ask about that. Show us the room.
It's not what you think. It's okay. I think the thing that kills me with spoilers are, I think Peter's reactions are totally reasonable. Like, the fucking thing just came out. Quit blabbing about it publicly. The internet exists. It's just a little bit of decorum, right? Like that's an extreme of just people just not thinking or not caring, Then there's the other extreme, of, I don't even need to know one character name that's in this. Why are you spoiling this for me? And it's just like, friend, calm the fuck down. It's like I'll avoid trailers, like I said earlier, for stuff I know I'm going to watch, but like if somebody talks about it, I'm not going to flip out, It's publicly released promotional material.
Yeah.
That is fair game. If you don't want to see it, then scroll on, on the quicker side, but that's just media. It's advertising. That's what it is. People are going to talk about it. But I've seen people get upset. It's like, don't post toy photos for anything from the movie until I've seen it. It's just like, friend, that's completely unrealistic. We are a toy community. We are going to talk about any and every toy that comes out. And it's just, if you really don't want to do it, like you do have to, kind of like you were saying, you just got to social media, not at all for 5 months, until from toys, start being talked about till you can finally see the movie. Like, and it's just very unreasonable.
Do you not go in the toy section at Target?
Well, me?
Right?
No.
Yeah. Well, some things like Entertainment Earth gets, case assortments, or at least listings thereof, like 8 months in advance, and we know people who get case assortment listings and like just start dropping names, and it's like, stop. So I don't know. Those are also spoilers. It might end up being public knowledge later, you know, as the media whatever event is nearing, movie, TV show, what have you. But yeah, it's almost impossible to avoid the over enthusiastic, or even just the passive. So
Because there's a difference between a leaked script came out, and I'm going to start talking about the stuff that's in there, and like, you know what, it'll probably be different. Like, no, what are you doing, man? But it's like, it's promotional material, and it's stuff they're selling right now. Like, it's fair game.
yeah.
Well, because again, like I think Star Wars, didn't they have that where like a leak strip came out ahead of time, and people are reading it, and that's kind of a big thing. But again, like Transformers,
That should be
it's
opt-in.
right?
Right.
But Transformers, again, there's not a lot of plot, so it's like what?
Yeah.
The plot is literally like 150 pages of, and then this character shows up to advertise this toy, and then this other character shows up, and then they move over here because we thought of a cool action scene, and then we're gonna put like some weird transforming scene, and then we're gonna have this scene where like a human is once again surprised and amazed that, oh, this car is a transformer, and then Ben dies, Uncle Ben dies, and then the parents get shot in an alley. Let's just keep retreading the same shit.
Everyone's someone's father.
Everyone is someone's father.
I remember my buddy for was it Spider-Man No Way Home? I forget the names of the Spider-Man movies, but the one, like the most recent Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. And he was watching stuff with his daughter on YouTube, and like YouTube did like the whole like, hey, do you want to watch this video next? And it was a screenshot from the movie that was a pretty big spoiler.
Oh.
And like this was something he was trying to avoid. He didn't seek this out. It just, the algorithm was like, hey, you'll probably like this, right? And it was something that we all kind of knew was going to happen, but
it's a bummer
to have it spoiled and have that kind of, to know when that scene was going to happen and to know what it was going to be like takes a little bit of the oxygen out of the room for that sort of stuff.
Like that was that was the last Marvel movie that like I was really hyped for the most recent one. At that time, my family was in a bit of a rough spot, and so like we couldn't all go, and we were dealing with stuff. But so it just worked out. I was just like, hey, Amanda, you and Lucy go see it, and I'll cover here, and I'll get to it at some point later. I'll go see it by myself, or Amanda will go see it again, or whatever. We'll figure it out. But after they came back, like Lucy, who was my oldest daughter, like just kept threatening me of like, you better, like, I don't remember any specifics, but like, oh, you better let me have some ice cream or I'm going to tell you what happened. Obviously kidding, but yeah.
Still, she was grounded for a month.
Yeah. That makes me, I've seen some of that before where people like on the YouTube thumbnails or something. Cause that's, even if what little social media I do watch a good bit of YouTube, and that's hard to avoid.
Yeah.
Some jackass creator put something. Oh man. Oh
yeah.
That annoys me.
Yeah. Like the movies are a little bit different because there is sort of like a one release time when the movies come out. And even if you don't see it that day, you can, you'll if you don't see it that weekend, you kind of know what to avoid and you can kind of go embargo. To me, somewhere like the Disney Plus shows frustrate the living daylights out of me, because if you're going to see a movie, you kind of know there's a certain time. It's going to be at night that people are going to get to see it. Whereas the Disney Plus shows, there's people who will watch it like right when it comes out at 2 a.m. or people who wake up first thing in the morning and watch it. And like by the time I'm just like scrolling through my phone at lunch of the day the episode is dropped, there's people already talking about like, motherfucker, do you not have a job? Do you not work? And like, I'm going to watch it the day the episode drops, but fucking shit, man. Like, hold on.
Simmer it down.
Yeah. Hold your horses for maybe 24 hours after the thing hits.
I mean, again, I don't think I'm well, I guess Peter says we have somebody in common. I guess Facebook knows I don't want to read them, I guess. But you know what? I've noticed a lot of my friends, if they do just like got to talk about it on social media, they'll do the, such and such movie spoilers below or in thread, dot, 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 dot. But then Facebook starts giving you previews of comments. So like they're trying, right? They're like, I want to talk about it. That's the fucking point of this, is for us to talk, and like they're trying, but then technology keeps trying to show it to you. But I don't get mad at that. It's like they were trying and it just, it happened. Like I don't feel like they did anything wrong in those cases. Not that any of it's wrong or illegal, but some stuff is like, man, kind of a dick move. I don't consider that a dick move if you're at least trying.
My two like go-tos with this sort of thing are either are two things I'll typically do. I've got a small text chain with some friends that we're all nerds about different stuff, and I like just like making out of context memes to try and like. Have you guys all seen the newest season of Mandalorian?
No.
Okay, never mind.
We're going to, but we're behind.
But like the idea of the out of context meme spoiler thing, I kind of have fun with, just because like posting a random image that if you don't know what it's in reference to, you're like, what the fuck? And then once you watch the episode, you're like, oh, okay, I get what you're trying to say now. Like I do that with friends that I know are like game for that sort of thing. I don't put it on Facebook. It's like a 4-person text chain where like we all kind of do it with each other, and it's just like it's like, all right, try and guess what this was about. It becomes like a little game for us once we actually watch the episode. And then the other thing I'll do too is in some of my bigger text chains is like you send out the message like, hey, who's seen XYZ yet? Like 3 people will reply, yeah, I've seen it. It's like, okay, I'm going to start another text chain with the 3 of you so we can all like geek out over this because, we all just, I want to talk about it, and I hope you guys do too because it was a cool experience.
Yeah.
So I do have a funny story about Infinity War.
I'll be the judge if this is funny or not.
Okay, fair enough. So I went to go see Infinity War with my oldest, the night that it came out, right? So I was like, hey, we're going to see this. Like, you don't want to spoil it for all your friends. So whatever you do not tell all your like classmates or whatever, like what happens at the end of the movie, right? So we, go through, we see it and all that. And, he doesn't tell any of his classmates or anything like that, right? So then my youngest, he really wants to see it now, and so my wife said, okay, well, I'll go ahead and take you. So one of her friends invites both of them to go the first weekend that it came out, and lo and behold, my oldest told my youngest the spoiler for the movie. And so right before the movie was about to start, my youngest announces to the entire theater what happened with one of the main the fate of one of the main characters. So because I did not say, oh, don't tell your younger brother like all the spoilers. So I said, just don't tell all your classmates.
Did you say this was Infinity War or Endgame?
Oh, Endgame. Sorry.
Endgame. Gotcha.
The Endgame. So, yeah. I mean, I
can't wait to see when so and so dies.
Yeah.
You little bastard.
Right. Exactly.
It's the classic Simpsons bit where Homer's walking out of Empire Strikes Back, like he's walking past the line of people waiting to see the movie. He's like, wow, I would have never guessed that Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father.
Wow. But like, that sucks for those by but kids don't have that decorum yet. It's, you understand why it happened. They're not adults like by the time, you're, a young teenager, you get it because you start being interested in media in that way, and you start enjoying being surprised and seeing it, when it happens, like when you were supposed to. So your kid gets a pass, but like these other people's like, y'all are as bad as 6-year-olds. You realize that, right? Like that should embarrass you. You should be like, oh shit, I need to fix that. Like,
So another reason I brought up this topic was it was either last week or over the weekend, a toy images got leaked or revealed. I don't know, whatever you want to call it, from a European website, so I guess the word would be leaked, of some Earthspark figures, and one of them is for a character that we have not seen their alt mode yet. And so, now this spoils the alt mode and spoils like what he'll look like once he gets an alt mode. And I don't know. I for one was like posting like, hey, I've got the pictures. If you want to see it, let me know. I'll forward them to you. But to me, this might be a spoiler. So if you don't want to be spoiled, A, try and avoid it. And B, I'm not going to post it here to, broadside someone who doesn't want to see it before they see it in the show.
Did you say that Broadside's going to be in the new movie or in Earthspark?
He's going to be in both, but it's kind of weird. He's an aircraft carrier in the movie and a jet in Earthspark.
Makes sense. Okay, I dig it.
And he's completely stationary unless Airbud is in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
Power Master Airbud.
But in both the movie and the cartoon, it's inconsistent which robot design they use for him.
So it'll still be a mystery.
Yeah.
I think that's very.
In both, he switches robot designs in both media.
Just like Gen 1. Just like Gen 1.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a callback. I know. I get it. I'm trying to help Rob out.
That's the joke.
That's the joke. It's a callback.
Yeah, I think that's very nice of you to take that consideration. I think unless it's something like Rung's alt mode, which was like a major plot point, right? Like that's a pretty big exception, and maybe that's what this is. I don't know. I don't watch the show.
It's a plot point of a whole episode of who this character's alt mode, what this character's alt mode is going to be.
Okay.
So they have.
All right, well, that's a little different then. I thought it was just more like, oh, I didn't know what Jimmy Jams turned into, and you ruined. Like, shut up, man.
No,
it's a toy.
The second set of episodes. This is a fairly decent plot point, and the toy spoils it. And, it is what it is. This is not storytelling for the sake of storytelling. This is storytelling for the sake of selling merchandise. So the merchandise trumps the story.
To sell toys.
Yep.
Well, and Earthspark is one of those shows too where we actually do watch it somewhat for the story and not necessarily just for the explosions.
But those are nice too, right?
Mabas Bloom.
Well, see,
does anyone else know Mabas Bloom?
I have no idea what you just said. I was just going to let it go.
It's a robot chicken bit that makes fun of Michael Bay movies. Yeah.
Okay.
The only Michael Bay thing reference I know is the South Park one where they with Man Bear Pig or whatever, or Imagination Land. It was Imagination Land.
Yeah.
Where he's like, we've got to hire these directors and he's like, craw, splar, and then red motorcycles are and like, okay. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. God damn.
Robot Chicken had a couple really good Michael Bay spoofs, and I'll have to find this one and send it to you because for my best friend and I, Mabas Bloom is shorthand for Michael Bay.
I'm a big fan of the epic rap battle where they had the big director off. There's 4 or 5 director characters in that epic rap battle, and of course Michael Bay shows up in it, and it's perfect.
Honestly, I feel like with spoilers with Transformers, I almost think more of toys than the show. And that's one thing that's annoying to me is that we have this constant stream of, all the toys that are coming out in the next year. So you almost never get that experience of actually finding something new in a store that you don't know about, or even just right before it comes out about finding out about it. It's oh no, so whatever, XYZ toy reviewer got this toy off the back of a truck a year before it comes out.
I do miss getting, with each new annual assortment, you get the poster and you open up the poster, or even look at the back of whatever carded figure you bought and you can see the smaller assortment and it's oh, okay. Oh, there's a tech jet thing with 2 guns to get that. Okay, I'm down. I bought drill tank guy, and now I'm gonna get red and white jet guy with the 2 orange things. It's just But now we know everything that's coming out. For the most part, we very, very rarely get surprises, genuine surprises for retail. The most recent one I can think of is that GameStop thing in Canada, the Ariel guy on 2-pack. That's what it was.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, ever since I first got access to the internet, there were two things I was looking up, and one of them was pictures of upcoming toys.
Pictures of what?
Upcoming toys.
Oh, okay, got it.
I mean, I remember as a kid, like, holy crap, this is going to be the next wave of Spawn figures coming out, and looking at like Cygor and all that stuff, and flipping out. And that was one of the whole reasons why I would buy Toy Fair the magazine, because Toy Fair the magazine would show the new toys coming out. Like the New York Toy Fair issue of Toy Fair was just like, holy crap, that was like the Sears toy catalog, kind of reaction for me, because like I wanted to see it. I wanted to see what was coming out. And yeah, even that, the Sears toy catalog and all that sort of thing. That was the Sears, catalog. That was like, all right, cool. Here I get to see toys that I don't have, or I haven't seen, or I, didn't even know existed, sort of thing. I think that was the first time I saw Mask Split Seconds, and was like, what is this? What are these things? And then, Peter, to your point, like, sometimes the pictures aren't great quality. Like, we're all spoiled now of like the internet is like enhance. But yeah, back in the day, it was like, here's an early production photo and a little fold-out poster, and wait, what does that guy turn into? What color is he? And then it's like different than the actual toy that you get on the shelf, and you're just like, wait, what is this? So yeah, the internet just continues, in terms, for me, the desire to see the toy as soon as possible.
I like 95% don't understand this complaint, because it's different when it's in a piece of fiction, because there's someone behind it, a creative force that is, when they care what they're writing, right? So not the movies, but that, like, they're trying to build up something, and there's anticipation, and they're trying to like deliver it in a way that the artist seemed to fit, right? Like they wanted it to be a moment, and they want to give you that moment. By knowing about it beforehand, you've ruined that moment. What the artist was trying to make for you, you can't have it anymore, because we're humans. You can only surprise me once, when it's a toy, I get that no matter how it happens. I mean, maybe if it was like, oh, we found out about it at, the old BotCon shows when Hasbro's up there and they show us something for the first time, and you're there with all your nerd friends and everybody flips out or whatever. Like, that could be fun. But at the end of the day, still, it's like, I'm personally still just as excited the first time I find out that, my favorite whiz-bang toy is getting made. If it's third party, it's like, here's a prototype render. I hope you're still alive in a decade, but either way, it's the same for me.
I feel like the difference, though, is by the time the toy actually comes out, there's another cycle of like the next great thing. So it's almost like, okay, I just got, whatever figure that, Gamer Edition Optimus, and then they're like, oh, here's Megatron, or here's like whatever. And so it's like almost like I'm like, oh, okay, well, now I have the thing. Oh, no big deal. Like, I don't know if that makes sense at all.
I think that's a different issue. Like, I mean, maybe they're tied again. Like I said, I have trouble understanding this one. Like, I think, there's a human nature of like, oh, it's product. When you first tell me about it, I'm excited because it's new or whatever, and I want it now. But then you get used to the idea, and then, and you're just like not as excited when the time comes around to actually put your money out for it, right? But I think that's like, it's just a different thing. Like, there's so many times I've seen people like get hyped for some Transformer toy that was announced, and I'm a kind of like a future thinker type of guy, and so I'm just like, I already know, like, yeah, you're excited in the moment, but like I can already tell, I know this person that like they're going to be selling it in 6 months, or like it's going to come out in 6 months and they probably won't even buy it, or they're going to buy it and they're just going to get bored of it quick, because I see the flaws in it and I already know like it's not the perfect fit, or whatever, and they don't go into it with that, of, hey, I want to rent this figure, or it's a placeholder for a bit. But like they don't see that. So I think I'm wired differently.
Like I just feel like the excitement and anticipation for the toy, it's like you kind of go through all this whole cycle before you even actually get it. And then like by the time you get it, it's like, oh, okay, here, put it over there in the corner with all the other toys. God, kind of thing is like, if that, makes any sense. And it's not necessarily that way with like everything. And I guess too, it's like sometimes I judge my yeah, there you go, exactly. Peter's over there showing off various boxes of product that he has not had a chance to open yet. Is this right?
That he was super excited when he heard about.
Super excited about. I asked for a lot of them are gifts that I got for birthdays, Christmas, Father's Day, and I just have not gotten to them yet because I can't make my brain be quiet enough to like sit down and play with a toy. But I get excited about things that are coming.
Right.
I mean, for what it's worth, I hope hasn't been picking up in the mic. I've been trying not to use Ratchet too much, but like I've been playing with the Transformer this whole time, and I've had it in for a few days now.
We've heard you. We've heard all of your
sorry.
clicking and clacking.
Ron was curious at what toy you were transforming there, Rob.
You were correct, Ron. It is Star Toys Blitzwing, and for what it's worth, this is one that was surprising to me because I don't know. I'm not in a Star Toys Facebook group, right? Because it doesn't exist. Because it's probably Deformation Space, who is probably Transform Element. And it was just like, oh, all of a sudden this showed up as like because a YouTube reviewer had it, and I was like, huh. I was like, Dick could use an upgrade, and like I love Fans Toys Astro Train, so like there's a good chance I'll pick theirs up when it comes out, if it comes out. But I was like, I also really like the Transform Element Mirage. I did replace it, but I thought that was a great toy, and I like the DS Blaster, and so I was just like, you know what? And everybody's like, it's pretty solid. It's like doesn't have die cast, it's missing some paint, but they're like, it's solid, it's well, the transformation's good, for triple changers. So I was like, oh, cool. I was like, that was exciting. So I just went out and bought it, but like I bought it knowing that like, hey, I might get rid of it, but you know what? I also might not, because third-party Masterpiece stuff that gets replaced, especially replaced by Fans Toys, usually isn't worth a lot. And especially when it's a triple changer, I'll fucking put them in different modes, right? And just build up the display. Like that's happening a lot, or it's happening more and more recently with my Transformer stuff. Like, well, bought Fans Toys Soundwave, get rid of the original. It's like, nah, just put it in tape deck. It's cool, just hang on to it. It's fine, it ain't worth anything.
The Fans Toys one is with my season 1 guys, and the original one is with the post movie guys.
There you go.
Not the 87 guys, because obviously you've got
obviously.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like
spoiler alert, Soundwave dies.
He gets better.
Oh man.
Literally immediately.
2 episodes.
Oh, was it 2? I thought it was the next one. Talk about spoilers. Again, we're talking about Headmasters, which is a terrible cartoon. And it's not just, the dub's bad. It's like, no, it's a terrible cartoon. Sub, it doesn't matter. But one of the episodes is titled The Death of Ultra Magnus. That's the fucking name of it. Guess what happens in it? So,
is that like the Return of Optimus Prime?
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's one of the great things with... Go ahead.
I was going to say, Japanese episode titles often will have, like, this is the thing that happens in the episode as the episode title. And it's not just with Transformers, it's with other series as well.
Yeah,
so
just what they do.
Yeah. It's like Drax wrote all the episode titles.
Wait, if in I guess anime culture, then if they name the titles what happened, then are we just spoiled thinking that? Are we spoiled thinking that we shouldn't get spoilers?
Well, when they we'll take Armada as an example. The Japanese titles were different from ours. We had all the Armada and Energon titles were just single words like swoop and dash and mystery and wish and just like what the. So yeah, we're spoiled by a lack of spoilers. Yeah, like you said.
We're entitled to not have spoilers. We're from
I'm
America.
I'm exceptional. Yeah.
Yeah, but remember, for Japan, Transformers came out first as nonfiction, toys without any fiction to them. So, we were the ones that wanted the fiction or needed the fiction to sell the toys.
There were story pages for Diaclone to kind of push the narrative of who the Warrooters were and how the car robots fit into all of it. And it exists. It just wasn't
Ain't much of it.
Yeah, there's not much of it, and it wasn't like Hasbro built a story Bible with Marvel and Sunbow and they cartoon comic bonanza.
I mean, it's just like comics that were inserted with the toy, right? Or is there more?
There's some story pages in like
Okay.
TV magazines, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, just at the end of the day, I know there are people who are part of this cast who have gone and tried to see every snippet of something that's come out. And that's fine. That's like how they want to digest this media. I don't. I'm not saying what they want is wrong. I'm not saying the way I do it is right. I think just be respectful of what other people are wanting, as long as it's like within, just kind of normal boundaries there. Rob, to your point, someone who's saying like, I don't want to even know the name of any characters that are in this. It's like, dude, just please just go live in a bunker then for the next 6 months, because we're going to talk about it. I'm sure we'll do an episode probably the week after the movie comes out. That'll be a reaction episode, and we'll probably have to cut it in half and be like, hey, here's the half of the episode where we just talk about reaction, and then here's half of the episode where we talk about reaction plus spoilers. And that's pretty common in fandom and podcasts and all that sort of thing. So we'll see once it actually comes out, but it's one of those deals that at the end of the day, we all are fans of this stuff, and we all want to have the collective experience of talking about it, the thing that we are fans of, or whether it made us happy or made us upset. We all want to have that discussion. But again, it's just about trying to be respectful of folks who haven't seen it yet, and just giving those warnings and giving those heads up.
I mean, again, stuff like that comes just back to, again, something I said earlier. Like I feel like it's not difficult social acceptability there. Again, if it's in promotional material, it's fair game to talk about without warning people. If it's something you had to dig a little more, came from a sketchy source, like pretty obvious that you need to find a spot where everyone's talking about that. It doesn't seem difficult to me.
Yeah.
Or just don't talk about it all because it's garbage Transformer live action movies. Who gives a shit? Find something better to do with your life. Fuck, man.
So, Lucas, I was not part of the cast when the first set of IDW books were coming out. What was it like, back then when, because what, you were part of the cast when Robert's run was ending and stuff then, or no, did you come
When
after
it was
that?
ending.
Oh,
When it was ending.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but we never really talked that much about the comic book on the show, to be honest.
Okay.
Like, I know Sabertron, they would always do spotlights on the comic books, and I actually listened to that. But yeah, we never really focused on it that much, and that's part of the reason we wanted to start book club up, like, because I really I love those stories, and I really wanted Anna to read it, and she was like, well, I'm not going to read it unless I do it as a group setting and whatever. So then they read it, and then Anna was like, I don't really like connect that much with, they're okay, but they're not great. And I'm like, no, you're supposed to love these.
I encouraged the cast to do more coverage of the comics during the original run of IDW stuff, and was consistently told, no one's into it. You're the only one that reads that stuff. Okay.
Maybe you were the only one on the cast at the time.
At the time, yeah.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense. That fits.
So I felt like no one cared, and then we moved to the new IDW continuity, and everyone loved it, and I didn't. So then I felt like the odd man out still. So whatever.
Yeah.
The end. We should read Transformers versus Terminator or Ponies because, man, Ghostbusters.
80s.
Just, yeah.
Remember them? For that decade?
Remember how these two toys were on the shelves kind of next to each other? We're gonna make a comic book as if they were actually in a world with each other.
Oh, do they make babies? Make them kiss.
I mean, off screen, yeah.
I'm sure there's some fan fiction.
It's in the novelization, but
Rule
not
34.
in the actual media that got put out. I do think we are kind of lucky, talking about Ghostbusters, that we haven't had a ton of things spoiled for us kind of by accident. Like, I remember when the newest Ghostbusters movie came out, Ghostbusters Afterlife, there was a toy that spoiled the end of the movie. And it was like, it spoils like one of the climactic scenes of the movie. And as far as I can think, Transformers hasn't really had that sort of thing, or at least the plots are not worthwhile enough to be spoiled that we give a shit. I don't know.
Maybe it comes back to, again, like, they put all the CGI in the trailers.
Yeah.
So, like, we're not going to be spoiled by a human dying because we don't care. So, and even then, what would they make? Oh, so-and-so's death playset, like, it'd be hard to spoil that, and so it's just harder to do.
Transformers, though, you expect everyone to die, including Optimus Prime, because he'll just get better. So they could release a "Hey, everyone dies" place. They're releasing a freaking Prowl gets his face melted for Studio Series. Spoiler, everybody. So
does not get better,
but that hasn't happened yet because they haven't.
He does get better.
Is he in some animation errors?
He shows up in Headmasters.
A lot of people get better in Headmasters.
Yeah, Ironhide's there.
A random scene or two.
Yeah. There's a panning shot. Battleship Bruce is parked on Earth. There's a panning shot, and you see Skyfire, Prowl, and Ironhide, and it's like, wait a sec. Oh, hey guys. And Prowl is hanging out with Sideswipe and Magnus in the first episode. I think he even has a speaking part.
I was about to say if any of them have voices.
And that's part of the Binaltech, like, trying to fix the continuity thing, is Prowl 2 and Chip Chase is downloaded inside Prowl's Binaltech body, whatever. Just anyway.
I never got far into the Binaltech fiction, but I know it was wonderful nonsense. You roll your eyes at it, or you're like, this is so stupid, I love it.
It's really good right up until the very end. I won't spoil it for you.
Okay.
Anna did bring up something just in the chat right now about, like, one of the silliest moments of Transformers fandom.
Oh my god!
In terms of spoilers, and that was these. And
God.
like, I just happen to have this sitting behind me. Spoilers inside, guys. Spoilers inside.
Wasn't the spoiler just like, oh, it's Ultra Magnus, which we already knew,
Ultra
or something?
Magnus wearing a poncho.
And like, they made such a big deal about that. That was the fun part. They're on Facebook like, the spoiler box come like, guys, do not tell anybody. It's got to be a secret. And it's cool, I guess, that marketing actually cared. They were trying to get into it and this and that, but it's just like, there's nothing good in here.
But there were screen caps involved where they showed a guy with giant shoulder pylons and dual antenna, like standing there, and that's the spoiler pack. I wonder who it is. I wonder what will happen.
I mean, the second two were, I guess, bigger spoilers because you had Megatron with the Matrix, which, again, I think they showed that in the previews for it. And Nemesis Prime, which I also think was shown in the previews for it. So, I don't know. But the Netflix show sucks, so who cares?
Griffin in the chat was asking, was the Sentinel Prime betrayal in the movie spoiled before it came out? I don't remember.
I think it was expected, but I don't recall that it was spoiled. I know I read I read the book before I saw the movie, so I knew it was happening. But I, having read the book, didn't tell anybody anything that had happened in the book because, let's not spoil it.
You didn't go onto the forums and say, "Hey, do you think Sentinel Prime will betray him in the movie, like in the novel?"
Like in the novel, and then he kills the twins after he kills Ironhide, and then Optimus Prime lets Megatron get away. Gall. No, I didn't do that.
Mr. Chance.
Is that the biggest twist we've had in a Transformers movie? Is that?
I think the biggest twist, well, other than if they keep making them, is how many other ancient plans that went back even further than the last ancient plan we found out were all happening at the same time. That's the twist. It's like, oh.
And they all involve Earth.
Yeah.
All of them.
Like, oh, we had to have the Allspark. Megatron knew that, but he also really knew he had to get the Fallen's help or whatever. But he really, really knew that Cybertron was going to teleport to Earth or whatever the fuck it is. But he really, really, really knew,
Yeah, the Allspark is on Earth.
World War II.
Yeah.
The Allspark is on Earth because Earth is Unicron, because the Fallen made the pyramids, because the Ark is on the dark side of the moon.
Because the Primes made a tomb of their body to hide the Matrix. Because
it's in a sock now.
It's in a sock. There's the terraforming, which will require Lockdown to show up for something. And
Merlin. Don't forget Merlin.
Yeah, Merlin, yes.
Who was very drunk.
And is in no way the same character as the other guy who was played by the same actor in the last movie.
Stanley Tucci.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
That must be Age of Extinction or Last Night.
Last night.
Because I barely know that one.
It was Age of Extinction into Last Night. It was the same dude playing.
Okay.
Stanley Tucci's like one of those actors that it's like
he's a great actor.
A lot of good stuff.
He's in a lot of good
actor.
And Anthony Hopkins is in it.
But I find out
Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, it's like, oh, Stanley Tucci's friends with Michael Bay. Like, my opinion of you just went down a little bit. Stanley Tucci's like gonna watch this episode and be like, "What the hell, man? Why can't I just be friends with who I want to be friends with?"
Totally.
We're always on the cusp of being invited to the Hasbro live streams. So, Hasbro live stream, PulseCon featuring TFYLP, but then you guys go and say something like that.
We got a
the
call
man's
from
blocking
Stanley
us.
Tucci saying, no way will these guys be on stage at the Family convention.
Oh, what's that convention or the podcast that stole Don from us?
Oh,
Headmaster Don. What is it? I just blanked on the name.
Radio Free Cybertron? RFC?
RFC, yeah. RFC's got the Hasbro hookups and keeps getting us shut down. That's what it is.
Yeah.
100%.
There you go.
I mean, we get just as many views as Few Adams does.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to go on the record and say I know more about Transformers than Theo does.
Probably.
Or the Triple Takeover guys.
But I mean, I think you can say that with almost everyone, other than like maybe 3 people I know on this cast. And I don't know that you necessarily know less than them. I suspect you both know the same amount, maybe in different areas.
No.
That's my guess.
No.
I think they could challenge you, I guess. Like it'd have to be like a wiki off.
We could do a wiki off, and then the bonus points would be who's prettiest, and I would win.
Oh, fuck off.
There we go.
You're not allowed that. It's a cheat code.
That's why it's a bonus. That's why it's a bonus. I'm not body shaming. I'm just like I'm Peter Upping.
I think the bonus point should be who's fattest and baldest. Take that.
Womp womp.
Zaldron said he listened to one episode of that crap, but they were making fun of blind people. And quite frankly, we don't make fun of blind people because how else would we have an audience?
We make fun of Transformers fans because
right. Because who else would watch something with my face on it unless they were visually impaired?
I mean, I can't look at the screen most of the podcast. I'm kind of looking around. I gotta have a toy
because you have to look at something else.
Yeah.
If you look up at me, then you will turn to stone.
It's always
or should
pretty cool.
I say your hair will go white and fall out and go peanut butter solution reference on you?
I don't know that reference.
Oh,
that sounds
80s Canadian movie that also was on Nickelodeon back in the day, and it's
I was too poor for cable.
Mildly disturbing. My daycare showed it to me, and I was like, "This is weird," and I don't like this.
It's always something I didn't realize as a kid. You know, you just take things for granted, but as an adult, you're like, adults wrote these kid shows. You know, which like makes you view some things in a different light. Like Looney Tunes, the people writing it thought it was hilarious, right? And that's why it's just tons of physical violence. You know, and like Warner Brothers really stands, or not Warner, the Animaniacs really, I think, stands the test of time on that because it was written by adults who wanted it to be funny for them. What kid is going to get fucking Goodfellas reference? And there's a whole set of characters all throughout that thing that is a Goodfellas reference. So it's like, as a kid, I thought these angry pigeons are funny. And then as an adult, I'm like, oh, holy crap, you did that. You referenced Goodfellas. And nobody knew, you know, or no kids knew at least, you know. If they did, well, they've seen some shit. So
yeah, the one kid in your 4th grade class knew, but it was like, you're not allowed to play at his house.
Yeah. oh.
I didn't want people to play at my house anyway.
You're gonna break your toys.
Yeah.
Like my cousin did with Metroplex. Right when I told him, I was like, be careful when you transform him in the middle. And 2 seconds later, fucking broke it in half at the waist immediately. Piece of shit.
Yeah. I bet you he also told you he had Unicron as a kid too, right?
Yeah.
I was going to mention book club this week is going to be Super God Master Force episodes 1 through ?
How does a book club have episodes, Lucas? You want to fill us in on that?
I don't know. And then there's also...
They're watching a show, I think.
Oh, okay. And then it says, or the 07 discussion. What is...
Talk about the 07 movie?
2007 movie?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I'm just reading off what it was written, so...
A book club. Read a book. There was a book for Transformers that came out in 2007. Read the Legends book from 2004. It has a bunch of short stories from all sorts of universes. Paddles is in it. Spoiler alert.
Go read the novelizations of the Bay movies.
Yeah.
And learn what mistakes you've made.
There are differences. I think they only did the first 3 movies, and then there was a prequel novel for the first movie. It's a prequel, and then novelization. I'm waving around a headless G.I. Joe, if you guys are wondering what's in my hand. Yeah, prequel, novelization, then there's like a something for the second movie, I don't know. And the third movie got novelization. Go read a book, guys.
And I read all the movie comics for 2007. Because there was a bunch of like prequel series and the novelization, and then maybe even some like other fluff in there. Like, I mean, it was probably like 20 comics.
Yeah, there were a bunch of like sidebar series and trying to like weave in and out and make it all work. I think Barbara did all that.
I can appreciate, you know, looking back, like they were trying to make it work. They were trying to make it make sense. They were trying to put the other toys into context, and like, where did Barricade go? Here's what he did. You know, shit like that. Trying to fill in all the flubs that they couldn't do in a gajillion-dollar movie. They couldn't.
Barricade was still there. It was just so dark you couldn't see him.
And then every subsequent movie would break everything the comics had tried to do.
Yes.
And so they would make more comics to try and fix the things that were broken. And it just became a nightmare until they gave up.
Yeah, I mean, I read them all and I thought it was kind of neat, I guess, interesting or whatever, but I still was kind of like, eh. And then I didn't care anymore about movie comics. Just like, I'm done. No one else cares about this writing. I'm not going to care anymore.
All right. Well, on that note, check out Book Club at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central on Sunday nights on the TF Talk Discord. If you're interested, apparently they're discussing something or watching something. I don't know. Whatever. Check it out. Oh, and Catherine says that if you want to make recommendations, it will be considered with attendance.
Oh!
I think she's saying that she doesn't want comments from the peanut gallery. Well, tough. The peanut gallery's on the screen.
Right.
So.
Fair enough.
And I've
part of the peanut gallery because Charlie Brown also didn't have hair.
I got a rock.
So, all right. Any last thoughts before we wrap?
Guys, don't spoil Little Mermaid for me.
Get over yourself, and also follow some basic societal norms. It's not tough, and then cut off both extremes, and everybody will be happy.
Don't be a dick. Read a book.
READBOO.
And
Okay.
don't ban books. Yeah, don't ban books either. Florida sucks ass.
Yeah.
How about that?
Unless it's
All right.
Dreamwave Transformers books, in which case Pat Lee still owes people money for those.
Extort Pat Lee. Find him.
Yeah.
Put him in your basement. Get the money. I know where he hides it. Inside.
All right. Anyway, thanks guys. Thanks to everyone. Thanks to everyone in the chat.
Smash that like.
We will see you guys next week. Yep, there you go.